Mama, na digital blessing. High tech, they rise, no stressing. Money boy on the beat. I see numbers on my screen. Green candles make me lean. My people, them, they win. High tech, they flow like stream. Enough we go down. Now only young we know. All my people gather round. Make we show them how we grow. High tech, na juju money. Juju money. Price they rise infinitely. My God, dash us this blessing. This blessing. Digital money no go rest, oh. No rest. Sharp pattern they confirm. Every trader they affirm. All time high no be ceiling. Market makers them they feeling. My brother.
Okay, I think we should be ready by now. So let's start. My name is Hightech, of course. I am the creator of Hightech Meme Coin. And on these live streams, I talk about what just happened today in the cryptocurrency market, what we think about it, and I comment on Hightech as well. So let's take a look if everything is going okay. Allow me to get rid of Telegram so I don't get any private conversation. And let's switch the screen and see what is going on. Of course, if you guys have any questions, you write me in the live chat. I will see it here, of course. Ask me questions. Questions if you have any. There you go, as you see. Yeah, 3 times. Actually repeated it 3 times on Rumble, on Twitch, and on Hightech. But no on X for whatever reason. Okay, anyway, let's go. Let's proceed. So maybe, who knows, maybe X is not available because it says live viewer count is not available for X. Okay, but what about live chat? Now it's giving me a little bit of doubts. But anyway, as you see, Bitcoin is acting as if it was unstoppable. It's keep pushing up. As you see here, I received entry signal on my algorithm. That means I am back in a position on Bitcoin. That won't allow me to quickly see how it's going on X. I rather make sure everything is going fine. Okay, it is. It is. Now I have live chat here from X2, just in case it doesn't work on Rumble Studio. But anyway, we keep pushing up. Something that was literally predicted by me. I predicted it. I was telling you guys not to bet on any downward moves, on any downward momentum that you could try to find there, because the wind is just blowing so hard north. It's literally risky. On USDT, entry signal was actually quite late, because on USDC I received it earlier because I trade both of those pairs, as you see. On USDC it was here, so on USDC I actually am in a position from here, so that's a little bit over 2%. On USDT, is, as you have seen, is a little bit higher. This time it's higher. Sometimes it's a little bit earlier on USDT, sometimes it's earlier on USDC. Here 1% 32.32. But yeah, it looks good. Right? The formation wise, even though this is a very microscopic scale, of course, because this is 15-minute candle, so a very tiny time frame, but it's looking good. It's looking good. And I was telling you, since the weekly, actually, yeah, I could not tell you that before the weekly closed, because last time I was live streaming on Saturday. But I was suggesting it that if whenever we close the last weekly candle in this fashion On top of that, if it's going to be green, we will have a strong continuation, because that one, when we look at it, judging just by candle bodies, it looks like it looks like a bull flag that is literally in the midst of resolving. So yeah, we are slowly getting that. As you see, it's Monday today. Yep, I just checked to make sure. Sometimes I lose track of days of the week. And yeah, we are having a nice continuation, right? Let's take a look how S&P has been doing today. Probably good. Probably good. Let's see. Oh, actually, no, this is not. Sorry, this is actually some coin on some exchange. This is S&P. Yeah, it's doing good. It's doing good. We have opened higher, marking another local high, and on top of that, we are maintaining the pace, maintaining the level, and keep pushing up. If we flip the chart, it will definitely give us impression that it looks very, very bearish, like there is no strength, there is not enough of buyers. But remember, this is an inverse chart. That is why it's so worthy to sometimes inverse the chart and check your bias. If, for example, you found yourself on with some inclination, right, with some strong bias towards one of the sides, always check it with inversing the chart. If when you inverse the chart, you have the same impression, then that's that means something's wrong. Something's wrong, right? You're leaning too hard towards one way, and you're not considering the other scenario at all, and that's unhealthy, especially in a place, in such a place as global finance or financial markets. Okay, let's take a look. Let's take a look how altcoins are acting in all of this. They are ripping up too. We are heading back above $250 billion level. On other chart, this is 245, 250 is the level that I assigned to it. Quite a lot of significance, and as you see, we are now we are reclaiming it. And yeah, I think we should be ready. All of you guys should be ready for very explosive moves. They can literally happen any hour right now. Any hour. If you remain complacent and calm and collected, and you wait for, I don't know, this market lowering to some magically chosen number below, I think you're up for a huge disappointment. I think the train will leave the station without you. I think right now much greater risk is outside of this market than inside of this market. The same is the case, of course, for my meme coin, Hightech. You have the link to its liquidity pool in the description section of this live stream if you watch it on Rumble, or if you watch it on YouTube, on X, you will have to just search it by mint address. I have it in my bio, of course. There you can copy paste it, go to whatever Solana DEX, and just that way you will find it very, very easily. This is a Solana meme coin, and you can swap whatever that has liquidity on Solana DEXs. You can swap it, no problem. I highly encourage you to do so. This is the only project promoted on all of my social media, and it will stay that way. It will stay that way, meaning that if I grow, if my reach grows, sooner or later it's going to translate onto growth here, and I have definitely a lot of room for growth. So that's why be early. I give you that opportunity to be early. I was giving people the opportunity to be early when we were little in the single digits. I was telling people, get yourself $1 of it, $2 of it. You will see it's still going to make you happy. And right now $150 from $1, you definitely can say it's somewhere in the vicinity of happiness. That result, right? And it's just the beginning. It's still just the beginning. We have just 50 hodlers for now, or holders. Yeah, I call it according to the crypto nomenclature. So hodlers, and you know, grown projects like this, that they usually have dozens of hodlers, not sorry, dozens of thousands, dozens of thousands of hodlers, not dozens of hodlers. That's what I wanted to say. So we are definitely like at thousandth of what we are going to be. So yeah, throwing at it $1 or $2 or $3 right now. You're at the very beginning of it, and that's kind of a market you want to stumble upon, something that somewhere where you are really early. Let me review quickly Rumble Studio. Okay, so let's take a look at liquidation levels. How these are doing today? Probably a little bit higher. Yeah, $72 million on Bitcoin. That's still very low. I mean, yesterday it was deadly low. It was below $15 million. So that was, or maybe 15 or 18. I don't remember. Below 20. That's for sure. Below $20 million. So that's extremely low today. 72. So a little bit more decent. I don't know. Given that we are forcing level, we are breaking resistance just below all-time highs. I expect us to break all-time highs, maybe even today, definitely this week. We're very close to it, of course. If we actually measure how much more we need, it's going to be below 4%, right? Below 4%, we have to pass, we have to cross in order to make new all-time highs. So it's definitely believable when I say it literally can happen any hour. I'm liking what I see, of course. On 1 hourly, of course, my trade looks a little bit better than on 15 minute, because this one has like plus 20 something percent, I think. Yeah, and she was here. This one did not get shaken out on this tiny correction here. 15 minute has closed it, and now, as you have seen, it has reopened it, but the hourly didn't even bother. It just remained in the trade, and plus 23.53% in profit. Of course, I trade both of those intervals. In total, they are very similar in terms of performance. Very similar, very comparable. So, you know, sometimes one is a little bit more right, sometimes another. Using both of them, you get a really nice average. It definitely completely obliterates HODL. You know, that's the most popular narrative, that HODL is the best you can do. That's totally not true. Because, for example, me with my algorithm, I can collect at least 100%, plus 100% in Bitcoin every cycle, even not 200%. So that is why there is a huge difference in between hodling and using, you know, a smart algorithm designed for a highly volatile markets like this one. This one is, of course, of my design, and it has been serving me for long years already. So yeah, but as you see, I collected a little bit of Bitcoin, because I mean, here the entry was slightly lower, so 0.41 in Bitcoin I earned with this tiny difference here. Still something, of course. So it is actually possible even to beat HODL on the way up, as you see in the macro. When you look at the macro, right, with trades like this one. So yeah, that's that's my personal experience. And why am I even talking about it? Because I don't promote my trading systems on my channels anymore. Well, because if you invest in high tech, you gain indirect exposure to my systems, because whenever those position close, the greatest amount I can allow myself to reintroduce into the high tech market. I do inject it there, right? So that's why it matters, of course. And share, like, and subscribe if you haven't done so. Naturally, shares are super important, of course. And if you are willing to, I don't know, throw a tip, then just better get yourself a little bit of high tech. I think that way both of us will benefit greatly in upcoming future. And tell your friends, of course. Tell your friends about this meme coin. I think they're going to be very grateful in foreseeable future that you told them about it, because in my opinion right now, this is one of the greatest, if not the greatest, opportunity you can come across entire internet. On top of that, considering how low the interest around crypto still is, when we type in meme coin search term on Google Trends, YouTube search, it's at 13. Lowest score throughout last 12 months was 12, and that was in September last year. So of course, today is second day we collect points for this interval for this week, because it happens. I mean, here, of course, those intervals collect searches, collect data weekly. I mean, this is like 7 days. I'm not sure if that corresponds to days of the week, like from Monday to Sunday. What was the day first? To be honest, I don't remember. But no, definitely it was not. The first was Sunday. First to 8th, no, first to 7th. So it was from Monday to Saturday, and then 8th to 14th. It's again Monday to Saturday. Yeah, so it's Monday to Saturday actually. So it's weekly. This one is weekly. So it's just second day of collecting data here. So that is why this interest definitely can go up here. The more we dip into this week, the deeper we go into this week, probably the score will be rising. But so far is belongs one to the lowest. Overall, recent weeks, as you see, we have seen a very low interest. That literally means right now is the time to allocate into generally crypto, because I consider meme coin sphere to be the most approachable for the newbies. The easiest one to get allow yourself to get sucked in. So that is why right now I'm actually eyeing those search terms the most within the United States, of course, because United States is the biggest economy in the world. The crypto adoption is the biggest there, and interest around it. So that is why I think it. Of course, we could look at it globally, but I don't think it would give us. I mean, if we looked at it globally, I don't think it would give us adequate, picture of the situation. Strongest economy, the one that counts the most for the crypto market, is the American one, of course. Okay. Crypto Fear and Greed Index. Let's take a look how is it going. Here 55, so same as yesterday, more or less. I mean, more or less, exactly the same, 55, right? Last week it was 57, so we maintain more or less the same level. That's still low. That's definitely low. Let's take a look at gold. Gold can serve us, and I educate you guys about it, that gold can serve us as another fear and greed index. And this one, are we making new highs here? No, I don't think so. No, we are not. That's good. So far, yeah, gold is having a good day. Everything is having a good day apparently. Bitcoin is having a good day. S&P is having a good day. That means gold should actually have a bad day. But I don't know, maybe the government of the United States already turned on the printers and literally everything will soar against US dollar. That is something I'm also warning about. That usually when gold is doing well, risk on assets are diving. When when risk on assets are soaring, then gold is diving because it's all about safety and environment. What the time is for. Is it for risk on assets or safe havens like gold? But in conditions of high inflation, superinflation, hyperinflation, well, everything in that environment, everything goes up, right? Because simply the the currency against which all of it is measured is just melting like ice cubes in the summer. So so that is why this time looking at gold, I think, can be very misleading, especially if people treat it in category of a buy signal of that indicator for risk on assets. Whenever it goes up, you should sell risk on assets. Whenever it goes down, you should go hard into risk on assets. So yeah, this time I think it's going to be a little bit more tricky because as you see, everything is going up right now. Let's go back to S&P. Allow me to take a look at it once more. Yeah, it seems like it's going to get us another local high today. It's going to beat its own local high that it made at the beginning of the trading session. Let's take a look at Bitcoin dominance, what that one is doing. I want it to see completely crumble. And yeah, let's take a look at this. What the hell is, okay, that does not add up. How come? Yeah, that's my accusation that I throw at BTCD, that sometimes it makes no sense. Because look, here we have this rising wedge formation, right? We have this rising wedge formation. This is the daily from today, and we have not crossed the upper line of this rising wedge. Now we go to smaller interval, and here we actually went above it, and now we got rejected from it, right? So that literally makes no sense. But yeah, I like what I see here, that we are having a rejection here on smaller time frames. Why? Because I expect this rising wedge to fully resolve because we are very, very high in Bitcoin dominance chart, and this thing should fall on its face literally any minute. It should be very, very weak. Well, yeah, one more example of how bad those aggregated charts are on TradingView, and how careful you should be with them when you use them for your trading. They can be very, very misleading. Sometimes they correct data backwards, meaning that you may have some trading setup on it. Let's say on Monday, on Tuesday, whatever it was, printed is going to get corrected, and it will give you, in the best case scenario, slightly different look, sometimes even vastly different look, that maybe will completely, cancel out the setup you thought you had for a trade. So yeah, you must be very, very careful with those. That's why my systems, they do not look at it. They always consider individual charts and do not use any additional data for analysis other than what they can see in the given price chart. But yeah, I'm very happy that on other chart we are getting back above 250. I was literally preaching it's going to happen, I think this was one more shakeout here. Um, As I tend to say, bulls hate to be ridden. When you ride a bull, it's called a rodeo. You can check it on YouTube how easy that is. That's why the comparison uh, of how markets behave when trail is the bull market. It's so accurate because the temperament of the market is literally same as temperament of a bull. It hates to be ridden. It always makes sure that the least number of market participants are on board, and yeah, either the smartest ones are on board or the most patient ones are on board, right? And apparently, well, there was a little bit too many people. The bull noticed that there was just a little bit too many people, and another period of a shakeout was necessary. Not as aggressive as before anymore because we are simply just very low. The lower we are, the more difficult it is for the bull to make those shakeouts, and or for the bear. And so that's why it was to be expected that we are going to get back above it. And literally, when we switch to larger interval, it can be treated as a retest of this level. That as we can examine here, it played a huge role to that 245. We are actually marketing between 245 and 250. That's a little bit more, let's say, more reasonable, more real. Every single time we were already oversold and we made a retest of the zone shortly after we were going totally parabolic. Here I was expecting it's going to happen much faster. I felt like here the first one is going to be this retest, second one is going to be this retest, third one is going to be this retest, but apparently this retest was much longer, and it took us all of these weeks here. It did not happen in 1 week, like for example the other time it occurred here. But yeah, I think this will only make this rally much more sustainable and much stronger at the same time. So it will be not only stronger but also much more sustainable, having this retest that much longer, that much prolonged. So yeah, let's take a look at USDT dominance. Once again, we look at it every single day, of course. Weekly looks beautifully. And the daily probably is going to look even better. Yes, it looks wonderful, absolutely wonderful. The day after yesterday's red close, as you see, we are having a waterfall, a very harsh rejection from 4.88. That is exactly what I wanted to see. I want to see a strong continuation of this downtrend. That is good for overall crypto market, Bitcoin included, altcoins included, meme coins included. This thing must go home, must come back home, and home is still far off, still far away. So the rallies that we are about to see, probably even this month, are going to be very spectacular, and I think they are going to last until the end of the summer, meaning that whole third quarter is going to be very bullish. It's something that nobody expects. Nobody expected. I told you guys that second quarter is going to be good, and it has been good. On S&P, it has been good. On Bitcoin, it still was not good on altcoins, but I think altcoins are going to get there. Altcoins are lagging right now hugely in those terms, but I think they are going to give us beautiful apology. Beautiful apology. Why? Because they always do. As a matter of fact, they always do. If you rethink it, if you think about it, if you have been in this space long enough, and you think about it, you come exactly to that conclusion. Yeah, okay, let's take a look at my X profile. Here X is reminding me that my premium subscription is expiring. To be honest, I'm not going to, since the only thing that was, in my opinion, um, let's say a deal maker was unlimited access to Grok with the premium service. Other than that, to be honest, it doesn't really offer much because if you paid upfront for 1 year, unlimited access to Grok costs you like $8 a month. ChatGPT, for example, which is, let's say, comparable in skills, in functionality, costs like $20, so it's over twice as much expensive. But then, aside from that, you don't really receive anything else. Okay, maybe a small addition is that you can live stream on X, but that's again, that's not a deal breaker because you can always post, for example, your YouTube live stream there. So yeah, that is why I'm not going to renew my premium subscription because I have my own AI anyway. I practically do not use Grok anymore. I use my own AI that I work on, and that's again a very valuable information for you because since I have my own AI, sooner or later it's going to translate in one way or another to what is going on with my meme coin because it will help me with making smart contracts for it, with making applications for it, and different use cases, very interesting use cases I have down the pipeline, and yeah, that value will slowly be injected here. So like I said, be before everybody else. Now this is your time. This is your advantage before everybody else while the interest is still so low across the board in the entire crypto industry. Later is going to be literally, what the hell is this? Why am I seeing this? Sorry for this. Yeah. So yeah, before everybody else, like as I said. Okay. If you guys have any questions, of course, don't hesitate to ask them. I will see it here in the live chat. Anything else I want to look at here? No, I think I have discussed all of the charts I usually discuss. So yeah, let's go over to my X. See what are the talks about. How I trade with my demo account. Yeah, the demo account. Oh my god, this guy is nasty. The demo account, unfortunately, usually lets you win. The trading there usually is much, much easier. Much easier than on the real one. And that is how it sucks you in, right? They drag you onto the field, and then unfortunately you face professionals that you know are there for decades already. So they eat you alive. Ethereum.org. Ethereum is for AI. The future of AI agents now on Ethereum. In order for that to be true, Ethereum must become very, very cheap. While Ethereum is still way more expensive than Solana, that claim is completely empty. It cannot serve AI anyhow because whatever read or write, and actually reads are free, but whatever write to the blockchain is hundreds of times more expensive than a write to blockchain on Solana, for example. So right now, Solana is a much better material for the apps related to AI than Ethereum. But of course, people that are completely unoriented, they will think, yeah, this makes sense. and they should be invested in Ethereum, right? Ethereum definitely has still a name big enough to have at least that one last pump and get, you know, a new all-time high back above. I mean, not back above. Get above its previous all-time high, beat again its all-time high, and what the future holds for Ethereum, that of course depends on the dev team, on the community itself. Are they going to have enough of determination, of motivation to apply, you know, to overhaul, to renovate Ethereum, to fix it because it has many issues. I mean, generally speaking, it's way too expensive and it's way too slow. Trust me, you don't want to use Ethereum apps, Ethereum dApps, because they will just get you broke, completely broke. On the other hand, if you create the same dApps on Solana, you can use them as much as you want, and even though you have to pay for some of the operations, you don't really mind it because it's so cheap. To be honest, if you create a dApp on Solana and a given user really tries to push it, I don't think they will be able to spend more than $5 per month, you know, with the function wallet, with reads to the blockchain, you know, storing data on the blockchain. Probably it will be very difficult to cross $5 per month. And meanwhile, on Ethereum, that would probably the first day, $5. If you push it, if you use such app with a lot of with high frequency, you will probably spend at least $5 first day, maybe even 50. You can easily go to $50. So there you have the difference. Yeah, this is of course what is going on, I think, in LA. People are so angry at President Trump's IC deportations that they are stealing Nikes. Yeah, exactly. Next thing you know, they'll be so upset they need a new flat screen TV. Yeah, exactly. I think that's in LA. Maybe it is in New York. I've got no idea. But yeah, yeah, what is going on there? But it is very, very weird. And definitely, police should open fire to people that do such things. Police should be allowed to do whatever to stop it. Because there's nothing, right? They're robbing. They're not really protesting. They're just robbing innocent people. I'm all for the right to protest. You know, I'm all for the right to fight in the right cause, but the right to steal, no effing way. Crypto saving expert bullish. The possibility of rate cuts in June just hit 99.9%. Market so hard. What? I'm going to bookmark this. How come? But where? On wait, probability, but where? On Polymarket? Q? What is Q? I don't know what Q is. I know Polymarket and the other one, which I don't remember how was it called anymore. Yeah, I have very bad memory when it comes to naming. Bitcoin, but hey, I definitely will. If that's the expectation, listen to me. If that is indeed the market expectation, Jerome Powell not think about cutting rates now. Now he will have to do that. Why? Because otherwise he will crash the market and he will be blamed for it. Nobody wants to be blamed for crashing the markets, let me tell you. So even if he completely did not plan it, now he has to rethink it hard and explain why he's going to do it. So that's Bitcoin Archive. Just in BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF becomes fastest ever to break 70 billion. than the old record held by gold. Okay. Yeah, that's I mean 5 times faster. That is a very serious defeat. Okay, what else? Any crypto news? Because we have a lot of politics here. Gerd van Lagen, Bitcoin step like formation playing out like a clock. Structure is set up for a swift final push to the HDF cell line at 320k in validation weekly close 83.7. Look, in in current situation when they are just about to turn on the printers, I don't really think we can neglect literally any price prediction. We'll have to we'll have to wait and see. You know what how big the resistance is. Is it appearing at all? I mean, right now, first of all, there is no retail on this market still. They literally went home last time we were around the 80k. They left all of their bags on the station and they went home, right? And people that usually stop the price are the retailers, right? So that is why they make the saturation here. They cause the market to gain saturation, and they are nowhere to be found around. So that means we can really go high from here. Initially, I thought we should be aiming at 150,000 more or less. There maybe we are going to get stopped out, but right now, collecting all of the dots and collecting them and connecting them, 150k may not be that much of a barrier anymore for Bitcoin itself. But I'm still highly convicted that altcoins are going to vastly outperform Bitcoin. Most of them. One that I'm literally 1,000,000% sure is going to completely crash Bitcoin's performance is of course my meme coin, Hightech, and again, link to this description section. Link to the liquidity pool of this meme coin you will find in the description section of this live stream if you watch it on YouTube or if you watch it on Rumble. If you watch it on X, just go to my bio, copy paste the mint address into whatever Solana DEX and you'll find it without any troubles. What else is this? 72k seller just checked the Bitcoin price. Yeah, exactly. Oh my goodness, this looks creepy. This looks lyrically creepy. Is that a real person? Maybe it's AI. Nowadays you cannot really tell. Breaking Australian 9 News US correspondent Lauren Tomasi hit by LAPD rubber bullet amid Los Angeles protest chaos. So what the hell she was doing there? Now she knows how painful that is. Congratulations. I mean, she was literally in the back and the hard place, and like she was expecting nothing's going to happen. That was definitely not very smart. Robert Kiyosaki, civil war has begun. ICE raids in Los Angeles erupt into mass violence. Big question, will it spread? My answer, I believe we and the world are in for a long, hot, violent summer. This turmoil is described in the fourth turning by Strauss and Howe, who posit the society. Okay. Crypto Seth, Bitcoin at $107,770, but city is dead like a funeral. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And that means we are still way too far from any end of the support move. Today, Chainlink powers pilot enabling CBDC stablecoin exchange between Hong Kong and Australia, Fidelity and China AMC. I don't like anything that backs up CBDC. Anything that has CBDC in the name, this is a CBDC stablecoin. So Chainlink probably is going to have, but yeah, I mean, while it helps CBDCs, I cannot be the biggest fan of it, to be honest. But Chainlink, and I will definitely benefit from from its pumps. Yeah. Okay. Up. I don't want it to make this live stream overly long. Share, like, and subscribe, of course. I think we are up for a really space, very exciting times. So I'll try to live stream a little bit more frequently now. Recently, I was somewhat relaxed. I was live streaming like twice a week. I think I will come back to live streaming every single day because, first of all, I think it's going to be slightly easier since we get some action. We are getting some news. There is things to talk about. So why not? Share, like, and subscribe. And of course, once again, reconsider throwing something small at My Meme Coin High Tech. The link to its liquidity pool, you will find it in the description section of the live stream again on Rumble and on YouTube. I think if you if you fade it, you will sometimes soon you are going to feel like you lost life. So don't do that to yourself. Get yourself something small so you're relaxed about it. It's very important to whenever you invest in something to do not over invest because otherwise you'll be just overly nervous and you will just be much more vulnerable to wrong decision making. If it's not too much, then you can let it sit, you can let it grow, and I think that's the best approach to it. That way, you allow yourself to convert into strong hands, so-called strong hands. So yeah, thank you for your time, guys, and I see you sometime soon. Cheers.